Petrol prices are high. Food is expensive. Flights cost more than they did a few years ago. And whenever we ask why, we are given the same simple explanation. Oil is becoming scarce. But what if that explanation is incomplete? Because right now, as you are watching this, the world is not in an immediate physical shortage of oil. Production is steady. Tankers are moving across oceans. Storage facilities are not empty. And yet, prices behave as if something is running out. So the real question is not, where is the oil? The real question is, who controls the system that decides the price of oil? Because in 2026, oil is not just a physical commodity. It is part of a global operating system. And that system decides which oil counts, which oil is delayed, and which price you pay at the pump. This is not just an energy story. It is a cost of living story. When oil prices rise, transport becomes expensive, food becomes expensive, electricity becomes expensive, and central banks raise interest rates. Which means your loan becomes expensive, your rent rises, your savings lose value. So even if you have never seen an oil field in your life, oil is shaping your daily reality. That is why understanding this system is not optional anymore. Let's start with the most common belief. Oil is expensive because there is not enough oil. It sounds logical. If something is rare, it becomes expensive. But today we are living in a strange moment. The physical market is not in immediate shortage. And still, prices remain sensitive and elevated. Why? Because the price of oil today is no longer just the cost of extracting it from the ground. It is the cost of risk, routing, insurance, and political alignment. In other words, oil can be available and still feel expensive. This is what we call the ghost supply. It exists physically, but it does not behave like free supply in the global market. The first layer of control is production. A small group of countries produces a large share of the world's oil. When they increase or decrease output, the entire global market reacts. And this is important because it shows that oil has never been a free market in the traditional sense. Supply is coordinated. Supply is negotiated. Supply is political. But even that is not the real core of the system, because something more powerful happens after oil is produced. Most people imagine that oil is priced where it is drilled. They picture a country pulling oil out of the ground, deciding a number, and selling it to the world. But that is not how the modern oil market works. The real price of oil is decided thousands of kilometers away, on trading screens, through global benchmarks like Brent and WTI. These trading hubs function like the CPUs of the oil system. They take in information from everywhere: how much oil is being produced, whether a conflict has started near a shipping route, whether the global economy is growing or slowing down, whether a major country is expected to buy more fuel next month. And then, based on what traders think will happen in the future, they decide the price for today. To understand this, think about something from everyday life. Imagine you are trying to travel home for a festival. You open a ticket booking app. 3 months before the date, the ticket is cheap. 1 month before, the price increases. 2 days before the journey, the price becomes extremely high. Did the flight change? No. The seat is the same. The fuel used by the flight is the same. What changed was expectation. More people are expected to travel, so the price rises. The oil market works in exactly the same way. Traders are constantly asking one question: what will the world need in the coming weeks and months? If they believe a war might disrupt supply, a major economy will grow faster. winter will increase fuel demand, or producer might cut output, the price rises today, even if nothing has physically changed yet. So the oil price you see is not the price of the oil that was produced today. It is the price of expectations about tomorrow. That is why a political statement, a shipping disruption, or an economic forecast can change petrol prices, even though the oil inside the tanker has not changed at all. Nothing in the oil field changed. The change happened on a screen. And this is the moment where oil stops being just a physical commodity and becomes a financial instrument. Because what is being traded is risk, time, and expectation. When we say the price of oil, we are not talking about one single universal barrel. There are many types of crude oil in the world. Different quality, different thickness, different refining cost. So the global market needed a standard reference. That is where Brent and WTI come in. Think of them as the global price tags for oil. Brent is the main reference price for most internationally traded oil. If a country in the Middle East sells oil to Europe or Asia, the price is usually Brent price plus or minus a small adjustment. So Brent is like the global wholesale rate for oil. In simple words, Brent equals the international oil price. WTI, West Texas Intermediate, is the main reference price in the United States. It is linked to oil traded through a hub in Cushing, Oklahoma. It is slightly lighter and easier to refine, so sometimes it is a little cheaper. WTI, or the American oil price. Think of gold. Every jewelry shop sells gold at a different making charge. But the base price of gold across the country comes from one standard market rate. Brent and WTI work in the same way. They are the reference price. So when you hear Brent has gone up by $3, it means the global base price of energy has increased. And after a few days or weeks, you feel it at the petrol pump, which means the number on that trading screen is not just a market price. It is the starting point of your cost of living. Now we move to the next layer. Even if oil exists, it must travel. Across choke points, through shipping lanes, into refineries. And every kilometer of that journey carries risk. War risk. Sanctions risk. Trade restrictions. Insurance risk. So today, the oil price is not just the price of a barrel. It is the price of uncertainty. Traders are not only watching supply, they are watching political alignment. They are watching shipping routes. They are watching which countries are inside the system and which are outside it. This is where the real story begins. Because some oil today is not banned. It is simply cut off from the main global system. Every cargo needs a chain of approvals. It needs maritime insurance, port clearance, financial settlement channels, regulatory compliance. If any one of these is denied, that oil cannot enter the main market. It does not disappear, it moves differently. It takes longer routes. It is sold to a smaller group of buyers. It trades at a discount. This creates two oil markets, an official market, which sets the global price, and a shadow market, which operates in the background. And the price you pay is decided only by the official one. The official market is the one you see on financial screens. It operates through recognized trading exchanges, insured shipping routes, dollar-based settlement systems, and globally accepted contracts. Oil that moves through this system is fully insured, legally cleared, bank-financed, and transparently traded. This oil becomes the reference. It is used to calculate Brent and WTI prices. and that number becomes the base price for almost every country in the world. This is the market that sets the global benchmark. Now imagine oil that cannot move through that system. Maybe because insurance companies refuse coverage, major banks will not process payments, ports impose restrictions, or sanctions limit official trade channels. That oil still has value, but it cannot use the main highway, so it moves through alternative arrangements, ship-to-ship transfers at sea, longer and less transparent shipping routes. Private bilateral agreements, non-standard payment mechanisms, because the pool of buyers is smaller and because the logistics are riskier and more complex, that oil is usually sold at a discount. Not because it is lower quality, but because it lacks access to the main financial and insurance system. Now here is the key insight. The global benchmark price, the number you see in the news, is based on oil traded in the official market. The shadow market does not set the reference price. It reacts to it. If Brent rises, discounted oil may also rise, but it still trades below the official benchmark. So even if large volumes of oil move in the background, if they are outside the official pricing system, they do not reduce the global reference price in a simple way. That is why the price you pay at the petrol pump is influenced by the official system, not by the discounted deals happening quietly in parallel. Think of it like this. There is a national stock exchange where shares are traded openly, transparently, and regulated. And then there are private deals happening outside the exchange. The official stock exchange sets the public price. Private deals may happen at different values, but they do not change the official index. The oil market works in a similar way. One system sets the visible price. The other system operates in the background. So when we say there are two oil markets, we are not talking about two different oils. We are talking about two different levels of access. One market defines the price. The other survives around it. And the number that shapes your cost of living comes from the system that has institutional access, not from the one operating in the shadows. Think of the modern oil system as a toll highway. If your barrel can pay the toll, it moves fast, legally, and at the global price. If it cannot, it is forced onto the back roads, slower, cheaper, invisible to the main pricing system. So the real commodity in the modern world is not just oil, it is system access. And once you see the system as a highway, you also see who owns the toll gates. This changes everything, because in the past, energy power belonged to countries that produced oil. Today, energy power belongs to countries that can finance it, insure it, refine it, and legally transport it. Power has moved from oil fields to financial centers, from wells to shipping routes, from producers to system managers. That is the real transformation of the 21st century energy world. This system does more than set fuel prices. It shapes global alliances. It decides trade relationships. It determines which countries rise and which struggle. Because energy is not just about cars and airplanes. Energy is industry, food production, military power, economic growth. And in the coming decades, the countries that control energy systems will influence the structure of the global economy. Now bring it back to your life. When oil prices rise, your transport cost rises. When transport cost rises, food becomes expensive. When food becomes expensive, inflation rises. When inflation rises, interest rates rise. When interest rates rise, your loan becomes expensive. Your rent increases. Your savings lose value. This is not an abstract geopolitical story. This is your monthly budget. So next time someone says, oil prices are high because oil is running out, you will know the truth. Oil prices are controlled by production decisions, financial markets, geopolitics, and a global enforcement system. Oil is not just fuel. It is the foundation of the modern economic machine. And the most important resource today is not the barrel itself, but access to the system that moves it. And once you understand this, you will never look at a petrol price board the same way again. Because you are not just looking at the cost of fuel, you are looking at the price of power. Thank you for watching. If this inspired you, hit subscribe, like, comment and share. Be part of our journey. Beyond identities, beyond borders, beyond divisions, our destiny is one. You are watching Next Horizon Global.